Hey everybody, it's Allison, stlprostretch.com. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Today's video is a resistance stretching video for the hamstrings, and we're going to talk about medial hamstring, inner thigh, and groin muscles, but why it's important not to ignore them when you're doing your stretching and just only stretching the muscles that are normally tight. And that may be, inner hamstring and groin, but for a lot of people, it's not. And we'll explain why it's important to work your inner hamstring, to activate your inner hamstring, your semimembranosis and your semitendinosus, in the way it pertains to your functional movement and squatting and sports. So when we squat, and I'm no professional in the squat. A lot of times when we squat, we sit back and the knees go in and the feet go out. And that's kind of one of the big things that happens a lot of the times with squats. And what that means is our tibia is turning out and our femur is turning in. So some of the muscles that attach here that can actually contribute to the tibia internally rotating, which is what we want, are the medial hamstring, the semimembranosis and tendinosus, and also the gracilis, which is one of your adductor muscles. So don't ignore these muscles, even if they may be loose for you. For me, they are. For some of you, they may not be. They may be your tightest muscles, especially the adductors. So here we go. We're going to start with a little bit of a hip warm-up so that we don't feel so crunchy. Go ahead and lie down on your mat, and we'll start with the supine quad, lateral quad release or resistance stretch. So we're going out and in. I've got my foot about a 45-degree angle away from my body, and then my right ankle is going to cross over the left knee. I'm going to be pushing my right ankle into the left knee. The left knee is going to be opening out. So the foot is going to be pushing out this way. The knee is going to be pushing out this way. Hook those two, get the tension there, and then rotate. Let your right leg win, and then let your left leg win. If you've got enough resistance going on this one, you'll get a really nice stretch here in the front of the thigh, and then as you open up, you'll get a really nice stretch in the hip and the outer hamstring. So we're just trying to loosen up the hip a little bit, get some of the fluids going, synovial fluids going in the joint, and also get some of this I like to call it jamming out of the front of the hip when we stretch our hamstrings. We're going to do one more, and then we'll work into the opposite motion. So this is lateral hamstring. The balancing muscle for the lateral hamstring is, or the lateral quad, the lateral quad is the medial hamstring. So it's the exact opposite motion of that. This and this. So we're going to take my left hand, grab the heel, make the OK sign with the fingers, grab the heel, and then I'm just going to push this knee down until I feel like that's as far as it would normally go within my range of motion. So I'm not going to let this knee move. It's going to stay right where it is. I'm going to put my right hand right on the kind of the back of my inner thigh and see if I can feel this medial hamstring fire as I go through the resistance stretch. Okay, I'm going to take my left heel and I'm going to move it towards my groin. That's my strength action. My arm is going to be slowing the movement down by moving the opposite direction. So hooking that heel, pushing out with the hand, and moving the heel in toward the groin. I'm just slowing it down. That's my strength. Do that a few times. See if you can feel that muscle fire. Can you feel it? You should feel a slight movement there. And you'll kind of know, well, this muscle is kind of wrapped up in some of the adductor muscles, so it can be feeling like a lot of different muscles moving there, but if you're really trying to
feel that muscle contract by using your mind and putting it into that muscle, you will feel it move, even though it's wrapped up in the adductors. And now we're going to move into stretch. So I'm kicking down with my heel. I'm going to be moving the opposite direction with my arm until I feel a stretch. We don't want the knee to move away from you. That's cheating. So move down and then open up with the arm. So this time I'm going both directions. My arm is always pushing out, and my heel is always pushing toward the groin, but I'm just letting my arm win, and then I'm letting my heel win. And my arm is losing right now because my shoulder is getting very tired. This is also a great workout for your rear delt and your upper trap. And then we'll switch legs. So I'm going to take my right foot, move it out to the side, cross the left ankle over. My right knee is moving out to the side. My left heel is moving away, the opposite direction. So I'm going to hook them. And I'm going to rotate in and then open. And if you're tightening your glute as you open up, this is a really nice glute stretch. And as you rotate the hip a little bit, if you want to rotate it a little bit farther, you may get into glute min as well, and your outer hamstring. So it's not just the lateral quad stretch, it's also the opposite side, which is really nice. We're going to do a few more of these. Remember, there's always resistance. You can do it without resistance. I mean, it's really nice, but you're going to get a lot more stretch sensation, and you're also going to get a lot more elasticity building up in the muscle fibers if you do add that resistance. So I recommend it. One more time, open and close, and then opposite of this motion, this motion. So if I were running backwards, I would be like moving like that, right? It's exactly what this medial hamstring's good at, is running backwards. I've been told that the football players that have to run backwards a lot use this muscle, and they don't even realize it's tight until they try stretching it and mashing it out, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Okay, so knee goes down toward the floor. I'm going to make the OK sign with my right hand. Hook it around the heel. The heel's going to kick down toward the groin. I'm going to be moving the opposite direction with my arm to slow the movement down so that I can get this medial hamstring activated. And you can just start with strength. Just start with this motion with the heel moving down and try to see if you can feel it. Put your mind in there. You know where it is, right? And you'll be able to feel the difference between this muscle and the adductor muscle when we go to the adductor stretch we'll be doing next. So once you feel it, then you can start moving into the stretch. So I'm going to be pushing out. My heel is still kicking down toward the groin, and I'm going to be pulling it away until I feel a stretch. We don't want to move the knee away from the body. That's cheating. I know you yogis out there, you want to do it. You want to straighten the leg, but just think of this as a half a happy baby, and we're just moving in and out of the stretch. And you're also getting a nice little workout for the rear delt and also your upper trap. So keep that in mind too. We're getting upper body and lower body stretch in one. Okay. My arm's getting tired, partially because this is not my favorite arm. But we want to do it until we feel like this muscle's nice and warmed up. Rest your head if you need to. And then we'll move on to the adductors. So the adductor, I'm going to do both legs together. I'm going to lift the legs up, open them out to the side. As I open, I'm going to take my hands and put them on the inner thigh. So I can feel, it depends on how much fat and, how how cut your muscles are, whether you're going to be able to feel them. But most people can feel this long adductor muscle right here, and it's different than the one that's a little bit behind that. So open up, and then I'm going to be pushing out with my hands to bring the heels together. Now you can do strength, just go through that motion a few times, or with this one, I kind of just like to work continuously, pushing the arms out, heels come together, and then letting the arms win and opening the feet. You can rotate the toes in as you come open, or you can rotate the toes out. And you may be able to feel the medial hamstring if you turn the toes out, and maybe more so the adductor muscles as you rotate the toes in. I can feel the difference. But then I've been doing this for quite some time, and my proprioception and my neuromuscular, response to these stretches is probably a little more advanced than some of you newbies. All right, and then we're going to come right back up, and we're going to do the groin. So knees open, pull the knees together, elbows move apart. So pulling together, and then I'm going to keep pulling my knees together and let my arms win as open up. Have you noticed that all of these stretches involve upper body working against lower body? Yes, it's true. So your upper body, your back muscles are getting a nice workout and a nice stretch as well. Now, if you wanted to add on to this groin stretch, the balancing stretch for that would be your outer hamstring. So your lateral hamstring, that would be the tipping bird, or I'll demonstrate the other one in a minute. I just want to wear these puppies out. These are good muscles to stretch as well because they are the yin muscles. So they're all the muscles that bring you into a fetal position, which often in the middle of winter, which it is right now, we tend to want to be in all the time. So these muscles might get weak and tight as well. And then when you get up off the couch and you get out of bed and you're like, oh, I'm walking like an old lady with my butt out because these muscles are all really tight. So it's good to keep them lubed up, keep them loose in the wintertime. And I wanted to tell you the other stretch for the lateral hamstring, which tends to kind of battle it out with this inner hamstring, is the across the body stretch. So let's do just a couple of those. Heel kicks toward the outer hip. I'm going to grab the outside of my foot. You can use a strap if you want to for any of these stretches. I'm kicking down toward the outer hip with my heel. I'm going to be pulling across the body with my right arm. So my upper body's going to come up and along for the ride as I bring the heel down, and then I'm going to drag it across. My heel is always kicking down. I'm going to pull it across, and I'm going to tilt my right knee in to get maximal stretch sensation out of this one. Whew, this is a tight one for me. Now, this is the muscle that I always want to stretch first because I know I use it the most, and it is typically the most used hamstring. It's usually stronger than the others. But that doesn't mean we just want to stretch this muscle. We want to get those other hamstrings activated so they can help out. So this poor guy doesn't have to do all the work all the time. And it's also situated really close to your IT band, so that's another reason that it may feel tight. And then we'll switch sides. So my right foot kicking toward my outer right hip. I'm going to lift up. You can use a strap around your foot. That will work just fine. Kick the heel toward the outer hip, and then I'm going to drag it across the body with my left arm. Out and across. Whew. Jeez, that's a good stretch. And to increase this stretch, I'm going to tilt my left knee in. That's going to give me more stretch. It is more internal rotation. I'm kind of holding my thigh so that it doesn't go out to the side. I know that some people that practice this resistance stretch actually let the knee come out to the side. I kind of feel like that torques the knee a little bit, so I don't do it that way. But you can if it works for you. Just as long as you're moving and resisting and there's no pain, you should be fine. One more time. There we go. Okay, so that's our lower body stretching today. Again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy stretching. Bye-bye.